growth is across the spectrum, large aircraft, small airports, big airports. Everything is growing in our country. I was reading in the newspaper today that I think Times of India carried this article, that Indians are now traveling to offbeat destinations. They were the usual destinations, but today they are traveling to offbeat destinations. What are these offbeat destinations? There were 5 in Central Asia: Tbilisi, Baku, Tashkent, Almaty. I mean, we never had flights to these places. I might express my ignorance. I didn't even know where these locations are, and now we have flights going to these places. A lot we opened up Vietnam. 5 flights a day to Vietnam by Vietnam carriers. In fact, our carrier Indigo is doing 1 flight a day. So I could never imagine 5 flights a day going to Vietnam. Now, Indonesia, Bali, Jakarta, Medan. These are never connected. Suddenly, I think in August, all these 3 places are going to get connected. Cambodia, Myanmar. Look at the kind of connectivity which is happening to all these areas. So, very near us, in our neighborhood in Southeast Asia, in Central Asia, hitherto unconnected are getting connected. That's the point that I want you to carry back. Vipin Vohra talked about freighters. I think it's a very important point, but kind of easier said than done. A 777 freighter, a 777 aircraft costs upward of $250 million. That's 2,000 crores. And when you equip it for becoming a freighter, it adds cost. I mean, I don't think any airline in India has the financial muscle to buy a 777 freighter. Not easy. And you're competing against global biggies like FedEx and DHL and big companies. Very difficult to compete for small companies in India against the global might of these companies. No disrespect meant to FedEx. The point I'm saying is that we're still far away from having Indian capacity in these large freighters. So what I would feel is that in the coming time, we would be, as we are globally integrated, be working more with international freighter companies to move our cargo from A to B or over India. And when I say over India, I'll come to that point as my last point. However, in the narrow body capacity, there's good news. During COVID, as Vipin Vohra said, there was a renewed focus on cargo. SpiceJet did induct a few freighters. Some of them they've let go of already. Indigo is inducting freighters in the narrow body segment, and of course Blue Dart is there. So, I mean, on the domestic cargo movement, we have pretty good growth amongst the domestic airlines who are having the financial power to induct freighters. A lot is talked about logistics costs, and my colleague Sumitra ji also spoke about it. There's a data point which is kind of talked about a lot, that logistics cost in India is 14%, globally it is 6 to 8%. 2 thoughts on this. One is that this logistics cost of 14% to 8%, things like that, is also dependent on the kind of cargo you transport. And as economies develop and they move up from a 2 trillion to a 20 trillion kind of level, the kind of cargo you carry changes a lot. So, for example, if you're carrying more electronics and less potatoes, then the logistics cost is vastly different in carrying potatoes versus electronics. So as we move up the value chain, automatically the logistics costs come down. I think 3 things that are happening simultaneously, which is on the infrastructure front itself, is the 2 dedicated freight corridors that are being made by the railways. Once they get commissioned, this will significantly impact logistics costs. The average trucking speed has gone up hugely. I've traveled myself as a passenger from Delhi to Lucknow, which was unbelievable. And trucking speed from Delhi to Mumbai or Delhi to Kolkata, uh, the trunk routes that we have has gone up significantly. It was about 30 kilometers, now it's 55. You're seeing trucks being able to do these journeys which used to take 7-8 days in 2 to 3 days in the routine. That's a major transformation. And I think the turnaround time at ports is the third thing, which is happening as we speak. And these three elements, the dedicated freight corridors, the trucking speed and the turnaround time at ports, as well as the economic growth and the changing complexity of our economy, will actually bring down our logistics cost significantly from 14% to that near global benchmark of 8%. Two more points I'd like to focus on. The summit talks about future sustainable growth. Very important, very important. Led by our Prime Minister, we have committed a net zero target by 2070. Aviation is one of those hard to abate sectors where very difficult to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. I mean, it's kind of, we are seeing the first kind of electric passenger vehicle in aircraft, in maybe 10-12 seater aircraft in Norway and Sweden, which are just taking flight. But looking at a 777 kind of aircraft or a A350 powered by electric power still is a long way out. Till that time, perhaps sustainable aviation